And joining us on the line now is Lanny Davis, former White House special counsel to President Clinton, author of Crisis Tales. And there are two things we need to talk to you about. We need to save some time so we can talk about the Hillary email thing. But one of the things that we wanted to grab you on is the fact that the Virginia State Bar Association has canceled a trip for its members to go to Jerusalem. And they're saying that they think that there are unacceptable discriminatory policies and practices pertaining to border security, and therefore they just feel like they can't go there for a big meeting. How do you feel about this, Lanny?
Well, first of all, it's good morning to you guys. It's nice to talk to you again.
Morning, Lanny.
It's shameful, it's cowardly, and it misstates history. So let's start with shameful. And shameful and cowardly I put together because it's anonymous. Who are the individuals who have objected? What are their names? Why won't they come forward on the record, state their position, and debate the facts of history?
And Lanny, let's talk about the history for a second, because Alan Dershowitz has also come out against this, as you have as well, courageously, and I appreciate that. According to the Virginia Bar Association, they say that members of their organization, members of the Virginia Bar, who are Arab or Palestinian in descent, will not be able to travel to Jerusalem because of their border issues. Is that a lie? I've never heard that before.
It's a 100% false statement. I don't use the word lie unless I know that someone is fully informed and deliberately misstates the truth. Let's say they are completely ignorant and therefore not checking out their facts viciously state a falsehood.
Do you agree with Alan Dershowitz
that they are allowed to travel?
Of course.
It doesn't matter whether they're black, white, Arab, or Jew.
So
there is absolutely no truth to that accusation.
Really quickly on this topic, Lanny, do you agree with Alan Dershowitz, who actually said this is all because of the hostility we're seeing from the Obama administration, from the White House toward Israel and towards Netanyahu? This is part and parcel with that kind of attitude we've seen.
I love Alan, and I agree with his taking offense to this. I don't see a causation, but I see a correlation. So not to get too fancy with you, it's when I hear Dennis McDonough use the word occupation, which is an historically false word, when a country is invaded by people attempting to destroy it, and it controls territory until those countries and the terrorists they harbor agree not to try to destroy it any longer.
All right.
For Dennis McDonough, the chief of staff to the president, to use the word occupation feeds into an historically inaccurate narrative.
On this, we all agree.
Yeah,
and so years, he gets this out for you two guys to talk about maybe on another occasion.
Yeah, we have talked about it, and we're glad that we all agree on that.
All right. Okay. I need to talk to you about developments in Hillary's email story. And look, her attorneys have now certified that no emails remain on the server from the time that she was Secretary of State. And she had made assertions that emails, I sent them to people, and therefore they were captured by the system. But we now have learned so much more since we first talked to you about this. The fact that a lot of people that she was sending them to were also using their private email address. And so I have to ask you again, do you feel that the former Secretary of State was following the strictures of the law in this case?
Well, it's not a matter of my feeling. The top lawyer quoted in the New York Times story, the top lawyer in the Archives Administration, went on CNN and publicly said Hillary Clinton did nothing illegal. That's a fact, number one. Number two, this is about a privacy issue. Everybody listening, left, right, and center, Congressman Gowdy, Governor Bush, Hillary Clinton, yourself, myself, would not want private emails to be made public.
Well, it's been pointed out that the server has been wiped clean. I mean, Reince Priebus points out that even Nixon didn't destroy the tapes, but Hillary has wiped the server clean.
I think that I'd like to see Reince Priebus, whatever his name is, Reince Priebus. I would like to see him voluntarily release all of his private emails. Congressman Gowdy. And everybody
I don't care about the private emails. I care about the emails that have to do with her job as Secretary of State, which were not kept.
She actually, that's not correct. She released 55,000 pages of emails and asked that they be published, something more than Jeb Bush or Congressman Gowdy or yourselves have done.
Yeah.
So it's about the right to privacy. I do not disagree.
By the way, she released 55,000 pages, not 55,000 emails. Secondly, we have to take her word for it that we got everything that was supposed to be given. It's her word and her word alone on this matter. Nobody else looked at these emails.
Of course, we have to take her word, and I don't blame people who are skeptical of Hillary Clinton to say, how do we trust your word? But I would say a single standard would be you guys, who I know kind of lean against Hillary, I have to say that, would say the same thing to Jeb Bush. 500,000 emails over 8 years, and he chose to release only some and not all.
If the emails...
And to use the same standard, you would say to Jeb Bush, why did you choose to release only some and not all? My answer is I don't blame Jeb Bush one iota. I defend Jeb Bush's right to privacy.
Would you agree that if the emails were wiped at a time when they were under subpoena, that would be improper?
No, unless what was under subpoena was wiped. And what was under subpoena were official documents pertaining to Benghazi.
But then again, we'll never know that, will we? Because nobody got to look at them independently.
Just as we'll never know whether Scott Walker wiped official documents when he was county executive and when he was in the middle of a criminal investigation, whether he wiped his opinion. You've got to use the same standard, and the American people have shown that they know that there's a double standard here because Hillary Clinton's popularity.
Well, there is a double standard at play here, Lanny, and I would suggest you the double standard is that Hillary Clinton doesn't have to play by the same rules as everybody else.
In fact, playing by the same rules that Jeb Bush played by, and with all due respect, I love you guys, you're not applying the same standard to Jeb Bush as you are to Hillary Clinton. I defend the right.
I don't remember any other Secretary of State having a private server, Lanny.
Listen, I defend Jeb Bush's right to make his own selection, and he has a right to privacy just as Trey Gowdy does, but let's apply the same standard.
Lanny, can I ask you one real quick question? Hillary Clinton said in her press conference that she used the one server because she didn't want the inconvenience of having two devices. But we just learned overnight the AP just got 4 emails from a FOIA request, finally. And those emails, out of those 4 emails, it's proven that she sent some of them on an iPad. So she had more than one device. So doesn't that sort of blow apart that excuse that it was a convenience issue?
Well, I wouldn't say blow apart. It may be a slight exception, but
No, wait, Lanny. It's not a slight exception because of all the FOIA requests on her private emails, we have received only 4 right now. The AP has received 4. They put in this request 2 years ago. They've gotten 4 emails, and of those 4 emails, 2 of them were sent on a private iPad, not her phone. So it wasn't about convenience, was it?
Give me a chance to respond. I respect that you think it blows it apart. My take is different, and that is that she turned over 55,000 pages, and she said, in retrospect, she would have used 2 BlackBerries rather than 1, and then we'd be having a conversation. Well, why did she choose one rather than the other for personal? Why should she make the choice? And every member of Congress has to face the same question. You're using private emails for some things and your official emails for others.
Yeah, but she said it was for convenience.
Why are you making those choices, and why do you two guys have private emails rather than WMAL?
It's not about emails. It's about the devices. She said she did it because of convenience, but clearly she did not.
She admitted had she to do it all over again,
right?
She would have used 2.
I understand she said that, but she did admit that if she had to do it all over again.
I would just point out I'm not under any requirement to follow the Federal Records Act either.
But again, it clearly wasn't for convenience. We'd love to continue the conversation, Lenny, and we'll have you back again.